Hey, my name is Austin Seltzer. I'm a mix engineer and I live in Los Angeles, California. This track is King of California by Dasha. I did a lot to these vocals that keep it the same, but also just make it like butter at the same time. I'm not trying to change her performance, but there's a lot of plugins on here and I'd love to show kind of how I go about this. First off, if you're looking at these vocals, they look a little crazy because there's so many edits and different things along the way. And pretty much what this is me going in and manually taking the breath down. I don't want it to hit my compression in a certain way. And you actually don't see it right now because it's committed. It says freeze here, freeze twice on Ableton. What that means is I went through and I probably de-pop and clicked the vocals with RX declick or decrackle. And so that's where the freeze comes from. But all these edit points are me taking a breath down. So let's see this one.
Orange with the King of California.
Like that breath there, I would have taken down because I don't want it to hit my compression too hard, where the breath is just as loud as the vocal. So whenever you see all these edit points, like that's what it is. I won't like de-breath. I won't use like a RX de-breath. I'll do it by hand. It just sounds the best because then you can ride, like in Ableton, this breath right here, I can turn up and down that breath and I can hear it and how it will react through my chain. So let's hop into this chain. I don't ever really lead off with an EQ move like this. So what this means is I didn't have my chain on here. I was just listening to the vocal like this.
Born in the orange with the
And that range was just popping out of the speaker a lot. So if I played it like this.
Born in the orange with the King of California, but no, not even the sun compares to you. Born in the orange with the King of California.
Like in my brain, whenever I listen to music, I guess it's because I've mixed so much and I've been on this side of it so much that while that vocal is playing, this EQ is like this in my head. I can hear that frequency ripping out that hard. And so I immediately go in, I'm like, I got to tame that. I can't even listen to this with that like that because once I take this down, the vocal is a completely different vocal. And now we can start. I'm sure that that's what I was thinking. But let's go through this chain. Let's see what I'm doing. We're rolling off the low end with a shelf, pretty much. That underrated plugin I told you about, Spiff. So this is taking away the consonants that have transients that blast through. Let me show you what this is taking away. You just hear it. Like, not good for a smooth mix. So I love Spiff. It's so freaking good for making vocals just way more buttery. Super underrated plugin. It's incredible. I only have it to where it goes up or down 3 dB, and then I make up 3 dB here. This just helps me do less compression. It's riding the vocal, and I'll show you here. Whenever it's quiet, it lifts it up. Whenever it's loud, it brings it down.
Born in the orange with the King of California, but no.
It's basically compressing without compressing. It's making it way more constant of a signal. And I put that right before a compressor. I'm using the L-Ray 2. This has been fun. It adds some grit because it has tubes. And you'll see I try and go for this red center.
Born in the orange with the King of California, but no, not even.
Just sounds good. It's like a pegged vocal that doesn't sound lifeless. My de-esser, this is the best one. No questions. This guy, it's so good. And it adds 0 latency.
Born in the orange with the King of California, but no.
So whenever you see the yellow on there, it's dipping a little bit. Whenever it's not there, it's not doing anything. But this guy it's so good. I'm not using the RVox here. But this is a secret weapon that I've been using for as long as I can remember. I forgot some EDM producer way back in the day told me that this was the key to slamming sounds and making them sound crispy. And then I was like, what if we put it on a vocal? And I've been using it since. And if I turn this on and off, it takes the crisp and the cleanliness out of the vocal.
Born in the orange with the king of California, but no, not even the sun compares to you.
So it's dole. What?
I've been drowned in the sound of the Carolina mountains, but no, not even.
The up front in your face and the top end, just, oh my gosh. It's like, that thing sounds like a Rolls Royce. Like, that thing it's great. So now we go into my little audio effects rack. This is the magic thing that I've shown you. Here are my flavors, the things that I can throw onto a vocal just at a whim, just like sends. But I want them all to be like right in front of me. I can choose what I want right here, and I don't have to scroll and then route the sends back to a bus to then process it again, to then route somehow back to now a vocal bus. It's just right here. It's parallel. I'm just slamming it, EQing it. I'm basically getting top end and crazy compression.
Born in the orange with the
Just to help push it a little bit more in your face. I have my widening. I already showed you the H3000. And then this EQ, I'm just rolling off the low end and the high end with the de-esser, because I don't want the S's to double up on the other S's. So we got this.
Born in the orange with the king of California.
Sounds crazy on its own. I got my slap.
Born in the orange with the king of California.
I love this little neo verb. If you've ever used it, it's got like this little assistant thingy that will listen to your vocal, and it will ask you what kind of reverb you're going for, and then it will design one for you. So it's always different. And then I use this gigahertz mega verb. It's a lo-fi reverb because we wanted this to sound kind of vintagey. I'll turn this audio effects rack on and off, and the vocal will probably be night and day.
Born in the orange with the king of California, but no, not even the sun compares.
Like night and day.
Born in the orange with the king of California, but no, not even the sun compares to you.
If I turn off this audio effects rack, it would have sounded like this. Actually with this, which we can talk about. That's crazy. There was just frequencies that were bugging my ear. And then this slope right here, for sure, retrofying, making it just feel more warm. But this is what the vocal would have sounded like.
Born in the orange with the king of California, but no, not even the sun compares to you.
You can hear it's like setting way back in the mix. It's not in your face. It doesn't have a lot of character. It's a beautiful voice and great performance, but you can't really hear it. So let me swap on the audio effects rack while we're playing, and it feels like a record.
Born in the orange with the king of California, but no, not even the sun compares to you.
Yeah, it's like total vibe. Like, especially the slap. That slap has been a pretty big thing on the Dasha records I've mixed. It just gives it this cool, like, we're live maybe. You're in the same room with her, but like a small club, like a dirty dance floor kind of vibe.